What's up, everybody? It's the Pope Elijah Burke, and I want you to tune in whenever you can to make sure that you're listening to Hitting the Turnbuckle podcast with Adam and Fiona.
I'm just about to hit the airport, actually. But before, don't roll your eyes. But before we do that, we have to do this podcast, of course. It's NWA 77. It's beautiful disaster. It is Markova going against Kenzie, Paige for the Burke, and so much more. Joining me after rolling her eyes on the podcast is, of course, the wonderful Miss Fiona Lochran. Evening, Fee.
Evening. I'm just looking at myself here. I look naked. I am not naked. I'd just like to point that out. Just the way I was sitting with my hair, I look like I have no clothes on. I have clothes on. Look, there, we'll put the cardigan up. That's better.
And all of
Told
them.
you.
And all of the men on this podcast now switch off.
It's all right. I've got no makeup on. It's fine. It's all good.
Fee, you are a wonderful person. Do not have makeup on
I
or
am a
not.
tired person today. I got soaked today. I know we always talk about the weather, but holy moly, I was out doing some volunteering today, doing some deliveries. And it was nice when I left the house. I wore some jeans, I wore my Vans. Normally I wear my chunky trainers. I thought I'll put my Vans on today. And basically waded through puddles all day. By the time I got home, the water was like up to my knees on my jeans. Not a happy girl.
No.
Anyway, that's a whole different story.
And as of tomorrow, I'll be in Morocco in the sun. There you go. For those people that haven't, well, not watching us on YouTube, you should, because you miss things like Fiona swearing at me. Anyway, look, before we get into power, we always seem now to have news or something has been announced for NWA. And today I saw a video or a promo of yet another debut coming up at the tapings on December the 13th, and that is Giselle Shaw making her NWA debut. And again, another exciting name to add to a list of exciting names, Fee, that we've seen over the last 12 months.
Absolutely. Giselle's just going from strength to strength. I've had the pleasure of working with her on shows before, over the years, before she even made the kind of move back to over to TNA and things like that. She's super talented,
She
very
is.
graceful, very strong. I'm excited. I never saw the promo. I only saw what you sent me on WhatsApp, the screenshot of it. So yeah, a good little addition to the women's roster for NWA for sure. But with the caveat of, is she just flying in and flying out sort of thing? Is she going to be there on a long-term basis?
We'll see. We'll see. But still a good one to bring in, especially for the tapings. I mean, normally
Yeah.
this would be kind of a sour-win, like where we've seen the Shotzies, or then obviously we didn't see Natty, but she was at the Crockett
Ooh.
Cup and boo, boo indeed, the Crockett Cup. So, but to bring him in for the tapings, I mean that's quite promising in terms of maybe this is more than just a one-shot deal.
I hope so. I hope so.
Me too. Me too. Me too, too, too. Anyway, before we get started on power, I just want to say two announcements to make about two returning guests coming on. Normally I save this for the end, but I'll save a couple of other bits for the end instead. Two returning guests, I actually kind of fit when I post on Instagram. I know I made a mistake on X feed. I'm not going to say what I was. Well, actually, if I better not, I better say what I was doing now because people can get the wrong idea after you saying you were naked on the show. I was driving home in the traffic when I posted the
You
X.
were on your phone while you were driving?
Yes, don't tell anyone. Anyway,
Shocking
but
behavior.
when I posted it on Instagram, I was trying to think of a song that would fit this the person, and it come to my head, and I had to put it on there, and it was "Mama Said Knock You Out" because of the loaded glove. And that man, of course, and Fee, you'll be your first time you're going to be interviewing him with me. That is Aaron Stevens coming
I'm
on.
so excited. So
Um,
excited. And I know for a fact that he's looking forward to coming back on.
He is, yeah. He messaged me directly as well. Look, we're looking for. Listen, we're loving it, this is going to be quite an important week because the weekend, that weekend, because it's going to be early December for those
Mhm.
when we sit down with him and record. That weekend is Exodus Pro's Journey 3. So then I was thinking, well, would it be good if we could tie it in with somebody else to return onto the channel and promote Exodus 3? And there's only one man that we could bring on to promote Journey Free at Exodus Pro. The Overlord himself, EC3, will be coming back onto the show. Do I sort of cause a bit of trouble on that show? Because Dante Casanova did mention in the podcast that you'll be seeing next week that he would like to wrestle EC3. Do I stir?
On that little seed.
No, shit stir. More so than ever. But look, I just want to get those two names out of the way. EC3, Aaron Stevens coming on, looking very much
Two big
forward.
chats. That'll be fun.
Brilliant, brilliant. And big thanks to them both for returning onto the show. Actually, EC3's third time. You interviewed him once with me, I believe. Yeah, looking forward to both of them too coming on. Anyway, right, Beautiful Disaster, NWA Power this week. So we've only got one more week left of 77, unfortunately. That'll probably air a bit, our one will probably air a bit later next week. We'll have to look at that. But anyway,
No,
we'll get.
I got to see it before it actually officially released today.
Well, technically we both did because this is 8 o'clock on a Tuesday night and it's 3 o'clock over in the States.
Yeah.
Hence why, and to be fair, I am being fair, and I could really, bit controversial. I could throw this out now and it hasn't even aired yet.
I know, we better not.
We're going to put this out, obviously, of course, on Wednesday, tomorrow. So it's, it wouldn't
We're
be
not
fair.
total assholes.
No, we don't. We could be, and to be honest, there's an argument to say we should do it, but we're not. We're not going to. So yeah, we managed to get this before you guys in the States, which is nice. Fees worked on a Tuesday for a change, which is great. It's working. It worked. It was brilliant for you. It's great for you to get it working. But anyway, look, two guys that we hadn't seen. Actually, three guys, to be fair, that we hadn't seen in a long time on NWA Power, and we're going to have a good time, because the opening contest of Power this week was, of course, Daisy Kill with Talos, the man, another Man Mountain, is back, obviously from Japan. We know that, but I know they made it. But Daisy had an enviable task this week, that being the Baron fee.
Indeed. This was an intriguing matchup for me.
It was a fucking fight. That's what it was. Let's not beat around the
But
bush.
an intriguing matchup in the sense that I was like, this could be very interesting.
I was quite impressed by the fact that they started off. They obviously ended up like throwing haymakers at one point at each other, but they actually started this quite technically as well. There was a technical element, lots of reversals, the arm drags and the standard reversal stuff, which kind of threw me a little bit. I was kind of thinking haymakers at 7 paces from the start, but actually wasn't the case at all. It threw me. I mean, what was you kind of the expectation when this match started?
I don't know. Now we know Baron isn't. He's not an. I was going to say he's not an athletic human being. I didn't mean it like that. He's not. He's not going to come in. He's not going to come in and be a high flyer and just go hell for leather in the ring and run off the ropes and all that. We know that because that's not his style.
No.
Daisy is obviously a completely different style of wrestler, a little bit smaller as well. And we tend to see Daisy as a tag wrestler as opposed to a singles wrestler as well.
Yeah.
So this is why I was saying it was intriguing. I wasn't really sure how this was going to go off. I thought potentially Daisy would come in all guns blazing and Baron would just kind of take a barrage of abuse and hits, but not really feel the effect of them, so to speak.
No, definitely so.
But I think I got that wrong.
Well, eventually, I mean, these two got busted. I mean, Daisy was, geez. I mean, I don't quite know when that was, but
So that was there was a short arm clothesline.
Okay, is that when it happened?
And that's when it happened. But I was I rewound it and went and looked at it again and rewound it and looked at it again. So it was a short clothesline. And I wondered if maybe he'd caught his cheek on Baron's gauntlet that he wears.
Yeah.
But it didn't look like it. So
okay.
I just wonder if it was just a really friggin' hard clothesline, basically.
Could have been. It could have been. It could have been anything. I mean, these guys were throwing, as I say, it spilled out to the
And
outside
we,
as well.
yeah, because we thought it was obviously, obviously we'd seen the pictures afterwards
We
of
had
DQ
done,
and
yeah.
he's still getting his stitches and stuff, but comms were like, "Oh, his mouth's burst open," and then the way they're in the ring and he pans down and you can see this massive gash under. Was it? He's not underneath his right eye. You're
Mm.
like, "Oh, that looked nasty." So I don't know whether it was the gauntlet or whether he just hit a sweet spot and it's just got him.
Well,
And I
either
don't
way.
know where Barron's came from either.
No, because that was to be honest, I didn't, I was looking, I didn't know if it was Daisy's blood or
Yeah,
not initially, but
but
no,
no, it definitely wasn't. It definitely wasn't
they were both,
because I
busted.
did see, I did speak to him not long after and saw the black eye in the cut, so I know it was legit and not just blood splattered from someone else.
Heavy hitting, nevertheless, these two. It spilled outside of the ring, but eventually the Baron had the claw, but he had it from behind. So he had it locked in, kind of like a bit like Crush, when Crush used to do that, but he had it over the back of Daisy's head. Um, but then Talos gets involved and,
hmm
well, slides in a steel chair into the mix, to which gets whopped over Baron's head, which causes a DQ. And then
Ring
Daisy
that
goes,
bell.
yeah, ring that bell. And then Daisy goes hell for leather on him at this point.
That
Uh,
was multiple chair shots Bannon took.
oh, it was about, yeah.
Multiple chair shots.
Kind of felt like the whole nature of this show was a bit like that. Well, because obviously some more stuff happens in a
Yeah.
minute, which we'll get into.
But yeah, DQ win for Barron. But do you know what struck me about this? The crowd were really quiet for this.
I'll be honest. I thought the crowd were dead through the majority. They come up a little bit during the next match, which we'll get into. They had their moments during the main event, as well. But the first 2 weeks or 3 weeks, however many it's been, I felt that there was energy there. They were electric
Maybe
through
these
it.
matches were later on in the show and the energy
Yeah,
levels were dipping, but I did feel like it was really quiet, apart from when Baron gets the claw out and
yeah.
that kind of
That kind of
brings the crowd
breaks them
back.
up.
But I was watching it going, they're really quiet. Is it because they're invested in it and they're just watching? Is it because they don't care? Is it because
Mm.
they're tired? Like it's a strange one.
Well, yeah, well, we don't know, obviously know when, as you said, we don't know when these matches because they don't necessarily film this in
They
sequence.
don't film it. Well, they don't. It doesn't air in the order it ran on the night.
Exactly. So maybe the main event, maybe next week's main event might have been the last match of the actual show, because it would make sense to championship Tom and Phil Billy next week. Maybe it makes sense in a sense of that's the last match we're going to see on Power. Maybe that was the last match that they taped during that session.
Yeah.
I don't know, but this one definitely wasn't on. But yeah, I did get that feeling during the show. So maybe you're right. Maybe these were matches that were airing later on in the tape in that particular taping that they done. But yeah, certainly a quieter audience this week than the last. And it's the same bloody audience. I mean, it's not
Yeah.
they don't change it around. It's the same people. But yeah, definitely a lot more noticeably more quiet. That's for sure. We go backstage at this point, or somewhere back in stage, and we're getting ready for this big territory
JC,
war.
is that what it was called? I couldn't remember.
Well, it was called a street fight, but I called it a
But
war.
JCP versus KFW ultimately.
Yes, and a very hyped Kenzie Page, Kylie Page, sorry. She was getting ready to rip someone's head off. I mean,
She's
they
been
all
an
were.
angry little girl lately. She's reminded me of Kenzie in her from a year or two ago when Kenzie was much more. Not that she's not feisty now, but
Do you know what Kylie needs? A bit of conflict resolution. That's what she needs. And funny we should say that, mind, because we enter the broad walk at this point for one of the couple of airings that we do
what did
get
you
of
just
this.
call it?
Yeah, the broad walk, isn't it? Another broad
Is it
walk?
not a boardwalk?
I thought it was the broad walk. Oh, I don't know. Anyway, it's something.
Anyway, yeah.
And it was our good friend Tiffany Nieves with is it I can't remember this guy's name. Is it Vic? Or, I can't.
I literally have written, forgot his name down. I think it's Vic.
I thought it was Vic.
Life coach. The life
The
coach.
life coach, shall we say? Yeah, and yeah, they were basically saying that their relationship is purely platonic and there's nothing going on, and he's patient confidentiality and whatnot. I have a feeling he was
And
kind of.
blaming, I love the fact that he's blaming Tiffany's job as a wrestler, and the hours that she works for the reason that they meet at obscure hours.
Yes,
Nothing to
exactly.
do with the fact that she's like trying to hide him from everybody.
Yeah, it's kind of one of these ones where she's.
Obviously, I'm just making assumptions though.
Well, it's an assumption I agree with. It's clearly that he's basically dating her, or they're doing something, and she doesn't really. She's a bit embarrassed maybe by having
I was
him.
about to say something there, but I'm actually going to keep my mouth shut from this one. So
Was
continue.
was it a rather dirty comment for you?
It probably could have been construed as that, yes.
In other words, guys, for those of you that don't know, they're just banging secretly, and that's basically the gist of the what they're doing. And Tiffany Evers, it's more like one of those, things that you just do. Didn't not have to go public on it, and yeah, they're just happy, right? They're happy with it being
Yeah,
secret,
they
and
certainly look it.
more power to them, right? And yeah. Anyway, patient confidentiality is what they're going by, and they're sticking to it.
And all he's doing is coaching Tiffany on her life.
Hmm. Yes, the life between the
To
four
be fair, I
bedposts.
could use some life coaching, but that's a whole different story.
Not in the life coaching that he's getting Tiffany.
That we think he's given.
No. We know that the life coaching he's giving Tiffany is in the bedroom. There's no doubt. Well, he
I
said
did
this.
not say that, Tiffany, just for the record.
Well, I did, and unless you see otherwise. Anyway, we've been potty mouthing throughout a lot of this. Let's get on to this territory war. There's no count out. There's no disqualification, but the pinfall has to happen in the ring. That's the gist of this. Few new people in this. There's the country gentleman who we know.
AJ and Casey,
Yes. There's Joe, Papa Joe,
obviously.
that we know. Bullet Ballard.
Didn't get his first name. Okay. Love his boots. Also identical to previous incarnation of Baron von Storms, just in different colors.
There you go. And Judy Lee Thomas,
Mhm.
makeup JCP in this. And then, of course, we had Kylie, we had Hunter, Tyler, and Tommy Henry, the KFW lot. This was apparently an I-40 street fight, I think they called it. And it was a street fight, wasn't it?
Jared had his work cut out.
Well, they in this, I mean, this was just in a nice way. This was an absolute car crash, but and that's not in it was a fun car crash,
Which
right?
is just what I wanted from this match.
Oh,
Like
I
I would have been so disappointed if it was anything different.
yeah, if they'd just gone like catch as catch can or technical for like the 12 minutes that we had of it, it would have been so like,
Yeah. It was
it
just
went.
carnage.
Is it me, or did Kylie look as if she may have tweaked her foot or her ankle at some point during
I don't
this?
know. I never saw that. I never picked up on that. So
Because there was one point where she was on the ring apron and it looked like she was, injured to a degree.
I just missed that, I think.
You might have been. You may have been. I don't know. Kendo sticks didn't take long before
That
they.
was Joe's fault that they appeared.
Yeah. See, this is what I don't get, Papa Joe. You do things by the book, is what he says.
But he clearly doesn't.
That is not by the book.
Although we do not know what is inside book.
Yeah, I think we're going to need to start opening up those pages to Papa Joe's.
I'd quite like to have a read of it.
Um, he is still the territory president, though. That's something that he is. So we have to, you know, well, I suppose respecting that. But anyway, he brought the kendo sticks in. They were just getting luzzed around
They
all
were
over
getting
the place.
thrown about at everybody at one point.
I think everyone got their shots in. I will say that Judy Lee Thomas is, she's a strong old bird, isn't she? I mean,
I actually really liked seeing her in with Kylie. I thought the two of them going at it was fun.
It was, but the NWA, just as the fight gets started and the kendo sticks get thrown, they take a break.
Of course they do.
But it was the Pope, so we'll let him off. The Pope was explaining the actions about the He says that kind of Mims has forgotten who got him there, and basically he isn't finished with big, strong
Yeah,
Mims.
interesting.
Well, we know he ain't at Samhain, but we do know there was a taping in between, I
Hmm.
believe. So we're going to have another 3, 4 weeks of that, and then we're going to hit Samhain. So yeah, December,
And
like we
there's
did.
more tapings on December 13th as well.
There is 𝙍𝙬 𝙋𝙍𝙍, what we mentioned earlier on. 𝙍𝙬 𝙋𝙍𝙍 will be a part of those tapings, but I'm sure there was tapings between 77 and Samhain.
Yeah,
So we're going to have 3 or 4 weeks of normal tapings back at the power station before we hit Samhain 3, probably around this time next month.
hopefully.
Hope so. It'd be nice. It'd be nice to get there. They done it last year, wasn't it? It was like a Christmas Halloween thing, wasn't it? That's how the theme that they done last year.
Yeah.
Anyway, as we move back into this, Kylie's in a little bit of trouble at this when.
Yeah, I don't think I'd want to be standing in the ring in between Casey and AJ.
No, oh, before we went to the break, we did see the Casey strut.
We did.
Yeah, it's another one of those real things, like the spectacular slap and whatever else we see during it. Yeah, I thought it was after the break that I thought she hurt her knee actually during this. Couple of awkward spots with her and Julie. I don't like to say the word botches because they weren't necessarily botches, but there's a couple of bits in there. I was like, ooh,
Yeah,
ooh, it didn't quite,
I did clock one or two,
Mm.
but nothing major.
Oh no, no. Listen, we've seen a lot worse. Uh, but then we go outside again. Um, and well, we get chairs, but we also get a door at this point. So in the infinite wisdom and great people that they're obviously very good at construction, these two, because what happens is they put the chairs up, put them out, lay the door across,
Of course, make a table.
make a
And for the
table.
Dudleys.
Yes. Unfortunately for Hunter, though, he gets well. This was a nasty bit because there was no padding. Well, there was padding, but it was far enough away that he got power by. He tried the head scissors, didn't he? He tried like a Hurricane Rana through.
Yeah,
You're trying to Hurricane Rana, Casey or AJ Kazana. It, they're fridges. It just doesn't work,
yeah.
right? So he gets power bombed through the door, hits his head on the concrete on the way through.
Yeah, that bet
Um,
that was not pleasant.
no. And there was a point there where Paige then got hit by one of them, and then Tommy Hendry was coming in like a raging bull during that as well. But
Yeah, because Kylie's attacking JC.
yeah, because
Or
he was
no,
hitting it.
Kylie's attacking Joe, and then AJ comes in and attacks Kylie, and Tommy comes in and attacks AJ, and then Tommy gets a big boot to the face, and then was it the gentleman's touch that finished them
Yes,
on
it
Tommy?
was the
Yeah,
gentleman's touch. Yes, on Tommy Henry. I must say, Kai did hit a good hesitation drop kick on Joe Kazana.
she
Yeah,
did. She did. That was quite funny, actually.
but you're right. It was the gentleman's touch. I just felt that was a little. I didn't thought that was a little bit awkward at the end. I'm not sure if they hit it properly, but they did hit it. There wasn't no doubt. I think as AJ, because he ran the one set of ropes, come back and he kind of turns on those ropes and then goes around. I think Kylie was kind of positioned and her legs or her feet were just where he would normally run. So I'm not sure if he had to alter the run because when he turned, I thought it was going to be a lariat, but it was more like a body body check in the position that they were in. So I don't know if that was the correct finish, the correct part of the finish they hit, but they did hit the gentleman's touch, and that did get the job done.
That's it. You're never going to hear the end of this from Joe now, are we?
No, what we do know is that Samhain is that it's the country gentleman versus the Page sisters. That's what we do know.
The
That's
Country Gentleman versus the Sisters.
yeah. Don't forget, this is where AJ doesn't like me at the minute.
I forgot about that.
I haven't. Yeah,
That'll be fun.
it will be. It'll be a good match. Page sisters will win, but yeah, it'll be a fun one. When we go back outside to the boardwalk, whatever you want to call it at this point, um, Aaron, who's coming back on the show, and Mondo are together.
Hmm.
Um, and Aaron's saying that, that he's going to have all these champions. He's got Mondo in there. He's got Slade, who's going to be the junior heavyweight champion soon, apparently. And he's got the Slime Balls that are going to hold tag team gold at one point. And then Carson Drake,
The
who's
most punchable face in wrestling.
the most punchable. I'm going to have to ask Aaron about. And do you know what? I'm also going to ask Aaron. What is the mint julep? We need the answers to that question. So Aaron, get your thinking cap on, or at least be able to tell us. Basically, he's going to dominate, and Mondo loved dominance. That's, he said it
We
once.
all.
We're going that way again, are we? Well, who knows? Dominance. There you go. Fee loves dominance, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm not even going to pretend I don't.
Get the whips out, fellas. Get it out. Anyway, he said that one too many times. Anyway, the word dominance, Aaron was like, could have done with the third time, but anyway. Do you know? And then we moved on to Carson and cousin LJ. LJ reminds me a bit of Matt Riddle.
Okay.
He doesn't see that, but I did when he was looking. And anyway, it's just some of the facial. Carson sort of said not the best start to his Lockjaw cousin LJ Lockjaw. He's going to be his mentor though, and he's going to be the second best Drake in the NWA.
Poor boy.
Yeah,
He'll turn on him eventually. You know
to
that's
be fair, he didn't look that happy about it, though, did he? Either. Let's be real about this. We will see. Is the watch this space is what you normally say, right? When we were doing this, so
exactly.
watch this space. And then we got to the main event. The Burke was on the line. Kenzie and Markova faced off. This had the whole big fight feel to it, didn't it? This
Did. I cannot lie. For a long time, I was not hot on Markova.
No.
I have warmed to Markova.
The,
I think, given the fact that she'd had so many title shots before, really, really pissed me off.
Mhm.
Really pissed me off. I'm like, just give up. But do you know what? She's one of the most consistent, strongest females on that roster.
I agree
And
with that.
the more I watch her, the more I think, damn, you're good. You are really, really friggin' good. And so I was like, do you know what? Maybe this is your time. I am here for this. And I am so glad I got to see this.
Well, it was a really, really great match. I do agree. The entrance from Markova, I was slightly thinking she was on a fashion walk or some kind of,
Well, yeah, I get that. Very
you know.
patriotic in her gear.
Yeah, she was very patriotic. It just felt like she was on a catwalk
And I
Milan.
always do with her though.
Yeah, they do. They do, to be fair. And Kenzie come out all business, robe, championship.
She still looks like a champ, man. I love that. We spoke about this a while ago. Like, I love how she leveled up in the terms of looks like a champ, acts like a champ. Because sometimes you get champions who don't do that. But
Yeah,
I
no,
love
exactly.
I love the kind of old school style of the champ turning up in a suit or
Mm,
in their best kind of, like she come into the ring with a robe and everything on. I
yeah.
just I love that, and I love that she's leveled up to that stage now.
Yeah, absolutely. And she carries herself like a champion.
She does. And she's still so young. She's what, 23, 24 now?
Yeah, something like that. She's been champion for 2 years, literally to the day, to be
Is that
fair.
how long she's had that belt?
2 years. Beat Camille
Wow.
2 years ago. Yeah, NWA, second night of NWA. When it was good, when we used to have the pay-per-views.
Oh, remember
Yeah.
those nights?
Yeah, I remember the,
Get a
the
little
Crockett
violin
Cup.
out.
Yeah. I remember that, reminiscing of those times. Um, yeah, I mean, anyway, Kenzie carried herself like champion for sure. This match didn't take long for it to go to outside either. This was like a lot of these were
We
outside.
knew these two were going to go hard.
Oh, they did. They
There
really.
was no doubt in my mind that this was not going to be a proper war.
Oh yeah, they are. And these two. I mean, Markova's fought Kenzie on a number of occasions, and every time Markova's got that bit closer, but couldn't quite get it done. So it was always going to be one of those matches. The big power bomb on the apron as well.
Yeah.
Kenzie hit on this. Per usual, NWA goes to a break at this point. Yes, I know, Faye. I wasn't looking forward to. Um, Latimer though, yeah, Tom was on this point and said that basically that he's not that Frill Billy's not getting under his skin. Um, but they did announce that next week is going to be the World Heavyweight Championship match.
I'm
And
looking
you
forward
mentioned also that El Dragon Nihar is going to be wrestling next week.
against Max and quite possibly their last NWA appearance for
Max's
us.
last
Yeah.
appearance. Yeah, street fight of all things as well. So that should be. It didn't
And
impress me the first time. I will, But look, it could have just been him and Tom just didn't have the chemistry. I don't know. Could have been an off night. We'll find out
yeah,
next week. Well, at some point next week. We come back. Oh no, there was the Immortals as well. Our good friends.
Knox and
Oh
Murdoch.
yes,
I'm
next
so excited for this tag match. So
the
excited.
the Immortals get a chance to reach immortality next.
Imagine that. Crockett Cup champs and World Tag Team champs.
The Crockett Cup champion, the t-shirts are now on sale, but Deal Machine has still let me down.
I know, I'm quite disappointed actually.
I need the Ahoo shirt.
Literally just across the chest.
Yes, Ahoo.
We'll just Sharpie it on you. We'll buy you a white t-shirt and Sharpie it on you.
Ahoo.
You could
Yeah.
Sharpie it on you. Do you know what you could do when you go on holiday? You could Sharpie it on you when you go on holiday so that when you come home, you'll have it like tanned on it. It'll be like a tattoo.
Yeah. Good bigs. I've got
I'll ask Rachel to do that. When you're
yeah.
asleep with the suntan lotion.
And she probably would as well, to be fair.
You're a phoner.
She probably would. I've got
Sorry, I just popped myself.
Yeah, I have noticed at my fucking expense, as per normal.
How
I
bad?
do actually have a tattoo on across my body. Funnily enough, I do have it. It's not that though. It is a Latin phrase, but it's not Ahu.
It's not Ahu.
It's not Ahu. It's a Latin phrase. For those of you that follow football, will know that Tottenham has a Latin phrase across their badge, which Uda es facia, which is to dare is to do. That is what I've got across my body, but I wouldn't mind Ahu across my body. Anyway, deals sort it out because I need one of them. I need one of those shirts. I need an NWA. I've actually got an NWA. I've actually requested Father Christmas or Mrs. Christmas or Rachel Christmas to bring me a NWA t-shirt. We'll see.
Welcome to the club.
Because I've got it. If I get it,
About
then I can wear it.
90% of my wardrobe's NWA merch.
Well, apparently you got nothing in your fucking wardrobe because you come on here naked. Apparently.
Wearing my pajamas, look. I've got my Lex Luger pants on.
You're like, yeah, that cross between that and Markova, right? Because that's what she was wearing.
My ode to Markova, that's it.
Yeah, and we better get back to the match because we've been talking
We get slightly sidetracked tonight.
sidetrack. Do you know what? The longer this match went on, the more that you kind of felt that Markova was throwing everything at Kenzie, but it wasn't going to be enough. It was just never going to be enough. The one thing that she didn't hit, she even hit her with the cutter, the Kenzie cutter.
I know, man, you're like stealing your opponent's move. That's shady, but I like it.
I did like it. She got a 2, and then Kenzie hit the cutter on Markova for it. So this is one of the first times that I've watched NWA where someone's hit their finish and it hasn't been enough.
Yeah.
Very, very rarely. And that's the good thing about it, because you watch other programs and they have to hit 50 finishes before. We've mentioned this so many times before. This was one of those times where you hit the finish. I was like, shit, Kenzie's hit the cutter. That is it. That is game over. No, she kicked out. The one move Markova didn't get on, well, tried to hit but couldn't hit throughout this match was, of course, the Beautiful Disaster kick, or Destruction kick. Sorry, I was thinking of Cody Rhodes. Beautiful Disaster. The Beautiful Destruction. But when she did hit it, she didn't hit it once. She didn't hit it twice. She didn't hit it 3 times. 4 times. And then the double arm DDT. History was finally made. The reign of Paige is over, Fee.
It is indeed. And do you know what? I have to actually give Markova a round of applause for finally doing what she set out to do.
Yeah, I must like because ever since I've watched NWA, bearing in mind there was a period where Camille was the champ. I come in probably March, April of that year where Camille lost the champ. So
Hmm.
my pretty much my whole NWA sort of I don't know, I want to say fandom to a degree has had Kenzie at the top of the mountain. In more ways than one, because obviously tag champs as well
Yeah.
during that period. I do wonder though, and I know that we've already kind of mentioned what's going on at Samhain and stuff like that, but where does Kenzie go from here?
I don't know. That's a really hard one. Does she get a rematch clause?
Not at Samhain.
I don't know. I think it's a hard one, like because that is the top of the mountain.
Hmm.
Do you
She's
go
been.
back and try and get one of the other belts?
Hmm.
Do you move on completely? Do you? I don't know. I really don't know.
Well, what I can say is Markova defends the championship against Shotzi at Samhain. That's what I know. I don't know whether she
And I
defends.
think not that Kenzie wasn't a traveling champ, but I am 100% certain Markova will be. At least I think you'll see the Burke at TSW.
Yeah, yeah. Well, she does a lot of territory shows, doesn't she?
She does a lot of territory shows. You'll see it at TSW. You'll see it in Florida down at Fight the World. I don't know where else you'll see her, but I'm pretty certain you're going to see Markova on the road with that belt, and it's a beautiful belt. It's going to now
Because
have her photograph on it.
yes, but Kenzie does seem to be very much. You see Kylie around a little bit. The JC, I know JCP and that are quite close to KFW, but Kenzie's very much KFW. I think she's actually the heavyweight champion of KFW, or she's definitely a champion in KFW. So I do wonder if that's true. What you're saying is bears a bit of potential there that Markova will travel with this championship. I know there is like the US, the NWA US Tag Champions are pretty much a territory branded
Yeah,
championship, which coincidentally at Samhain the Slime Balls are going for.
interesting.
Yes, looking forward to that. But look, big congratulations to Markova with the changing of the guard at the top of the NWA women's division, anyway.
Hmm.
But Kenzie's had an
She
incredible.
has. She's had an unbelievable run.
One that we didn't really know when it was ever going to end, but it has, at least for the time being. You mentioned, Kenzie's like 22, 23, 24 years old. I mean, you could have another load of runs going on for years in the future. Who knows? But we're now in the reign of the beautiful reign, shall we say, of Mark Over.
She
And that
trademarked
was
that really quickly.
yeah, yeah, definitely. That was power this week. So we got one more week of 77. Like we said before, we will get to it next week. It's my fault next week that it's a bit going to be a bit later than planned. But anyway, other than my holiday fee, what else have you got? Well, nothing that you got coming up. You're not coming on holiday with me, but what have you
I've got
got?
loads coming up, loads and loads and
Oh,
loads. So I've had 2 weekends off, which have been 2 weekends off. Let's just say that. This weekend, PBW are back in Mabel on Friday night with a good
lovely.
show. And then on Saturday, I am with W3L in Elgin, way up in the north of Scotland, up near Inverness. So we are taking their show up to there. Um, then next week on Wednesday, I head down to Liverpool to
Ooh,
meet up with Mr. Mick Foley, with
ooh.
shows in London on Thursday, Newcastle on Friday, Glasgow on Saturday, and Belfast on Sunday with Inside the Ropes. But Mick has also got other dates across the UK with his own one-man show that he's done and is promoting himself. So there's 4 Inside the Ropes shows and multiple other shows across the UK and Ireland with Mick himself. And then the following weekend, PBW that was the 28th of November, have a huge show in Dumbarton on the 28th. And Saltire Championship Wrestling have a show on the 29th of November as well. And then I have shows every weekend right up until the new year. So busy, busy, busy.
And that's how you like to be.
Yeah.
And of course, Carlito in February.
What's that? Carlito in January.
January, sorry. Carlito
8th
in
and
January.
9th of January, we have tickets available from insidetheropes.co.uk. There might even still be some general admission and maybe one or two VIPs for Mick Foley next week. You know the stories from Mick are always going to be a good time, so I am looking forward to seeing him. I haven't seen him since round about this time last year when I went through to Comic Con to catch up with him and have dinner. So very excited to see him again.
Mick
He's
is always great guy, great person to be around. Inside the Ropes put on some amazing shows, so make sure you pick up one of those tickets. And if you want the Carlito ones, you get VIP for less than £60. Just
yeah, and that is Glasgow and Newcastle for Carlito.
yes, so make sure that you go to see that for sure. Look, as we said, the podcast is taking a break, but it's not because you're going to see interviews like Dante Casanova will be on.
That
While
was a
we're
fun
away.
one. I enjoyed that.
Really good, actually. We called him a version of Roman Reigns because he
He
does.
does.
He
He
does.
looks like Roman Reigns' little brother, basically.
He does indeed. Independent Showcase, the Trailblazers will be on. Archie Payne, Ted Saban, and Isaac Blair will be on as well. So three names in the UK that if you don't know, you will know if you watch the program or not, because these are three guys that are going to be definitely around to the UK scene. And funnily enough, you'll get to see the Isaac Blair one just a few days before his Ignite debut. Which he's got a little bit to thank me for. This Adam the Scout was out and about. To be fair, the Ignite, Chris at Ignite wanted him anyway, but he just so happened to be at a show, and it was a case of tell me what you think, and I was like, we need him on the show, so we got him anyway. He will be on Ignite November the 23rd. The curtain call for last show of the year always goes with a bang. We got the breakout finals. Isaac Blair, please kick the seven bells of shit out of Truman Roswell, please, because I don't want to. I forgot that motherfucker was still here, and now I've
Oh
got to
dear.
remember that he's now back and the shit. And of course, the Turnbuckle Championship will be on the line. Aluna will be in triple threat action against Chris Aries and Shane Hook, and the Ignite Heavyweight Championship, or the Ignite Championship, will be on the line as Taylor James makes his second defense against former longest reigning Ignite champion Corey McRae. And funnily enough, Chris Aries in the Turnbuckle Championship match could become the first ever Triple Crown winner at Ignite. He could be the first man to win the Breakout, to win the Ignite Championship, and the Turnbuckle Championship. Although I
Oof.
don't not appreciating the fact that he come up to me demanding that shot. Although he did deserve it because he did win the match that could give him the shot. So, but anyway, he may crack a smile one day, but in the same day I might get some hair. So both no chance happening. But also come up on the show upon the return from holiday and the return from Ignite Wrestling. I announced it this part last week, and it gained a lot of traction on the social media platforms. I'm going to be interviewing the former Ridge Holland from WWE, recently released, of course, with my good pal Jordan. Will be coming on doing that for me. And we just want to actually say a big thank you to you, the viewers, the people that engage with us. The Instagram engagement has reached over 250,000 engagements in this last month. The YouTube stuff is up to nearly 40,000 engagement. I don't know why the fuck you listen, but look, we appreciate it. We love it. You guys help us. We love it. We love doing this. We're doing this to give NWA traction. We do it to give wherever we're doing, whoever we got on, whether it's an NWA, even if it's whether it's TNA as well, with the TNA in the exclusive interviews that we get, doesn't happen without you guys tuning in. So big thank you to you
Indeed.
all for that. Fee, look, when I'm back next week, would you like to see my white bits?
No thanks. Unless it's a who across your chest.
Give up. I give up. Anyway, in all fairness, though, would you like to do this again next week?
Absolutely.
We will be here. We hope you are as well. But until next time, everybody, for the dominance of Miss Fiona Loughran, I have been Adam Cousins, and you have been watching the Hitting the Turnbuckle podcast. Until next time, everybody, buckle down, stay safe. Bye-bye.